I look over. I think that was just a freak incident. What the world? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Rooted in Nature. Today is Tomato Tuesday. Well, would be, but we don't have any tomatoes to harvest. So I will get into everything. So instead of calling us Tomato Tuesday, we're gonna call us Church Day Tuesday. So, and there's a tomato right there. But anyway, so we had a lot of bad things, very, very bad things happen in our garden recently. So last week, during the night on I forget the day, but I heard my dogs barking and stuff. I ain't think nothing about it. They bark every night. When they hear stuff in the woods, like back there or maybe over there, they'll bark. Their pen's just right there. So, in perspective, their pen's right there, my garden's right here. Usually, I get pests in my garden. And I am prepared for pests. But, one thing I'm not prepared for is what happened in the garden. So, sorry for the traffic and the cars. But anyway, y'all, so basically, I came out to my garden to do Harvest Day Friday, so it was Thursday. So Wednesday night, the dogs were barking, and I didn't think nothing about it. Then I came out here Thursday morning to do Harvest Day Friday video to film it, and I came right into my garden, and I look over, because I always look at everything when I come in, I look over, and I'm like, what the world? Now, if y'all are new here, this was full of green beans that size over there. So now I'm like, what the world? And, hold it. And, I mean, it's just crazy. So, then I was like, whatever. And so, I just was going to keep going. And then I was like, wait, there's no green tomatoes, there's no red tomatoes. What am I gonna do? Because I don't know why we have all this traffic. Anyway, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because, see, I plan into the future. I plan my videos. So I know what videos I'm gonna do for about 3 or 2 weeks. So I was like, what am I gonna do for Tomato Tuesday? Then I was like, wait, what took the tomatoes? Because there's no green tomatoes and there's no red ones. And I'm looking, and I'm like, what? Literally, no cherry tomatoes, nothing. Not even one drop or nothing. I'm like, what the world? And I'm just looking, and I see this. I'm like, what has eaten my green beans? And, like, whatever it was, sat here and picked every one off and ate it. Well, they missed one or two, like right here. But I'm like, what the world? So, yeah. I'm like, this is crazy. It's literally no tomatoes on here at all. I had one on there to pick. I know I had one on there because it's a yellow boy or a lemon boy. But they're just looking so bad. Like, and the tops are eaten. No green tomatoes, like I said. Here's a few green tomatoes, but nothing to be harvested for a whole video, So then I'm like, whatever. I gotta figure out what's this. So I wasn't even gonna film a Harvest Day Friday. So if you go back and watch that Harvest Day Friday, my attitude in that was totally off. And that's because I came out here later that evening and filmed it. But I was still very, very mad. So then I'm like, what eats beans and stuff like and that? And I was doing my research and stuff. I came to find out it was deer. Okay. Then I later found out, late afternoon when I was filming, not only did they eat all my tomatoes and ate my green beans in that raised bed over there and some green beans out here, they started eating my peppers. And this is all in one night, by the way, about an hour, because I was up the whole time they were barking. So, through that hour, they ate all the leaves and basically the tops of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They missed that one. 8, 9, 10 pepper plants, ate every single tomato in my garden, which had to be at least 200, or probably like close to 500, considering all the cherry tomatoes, the green cherry tomatoes, the ripe cherry tomatoes, the green tomatoes slicers, and the ripe slicers. I was doing that because I filmed the garden tours on Friday, and I have a schedule, and so I'm waiting to pick them, on video for Tomato Tuesday. Well, so this is all I'm getting on here to say. I never had deer problems in my garden. Never. At my other house, at anywhere. The wintertime, I planted, I know I wasn't on here yet. Well, I didn't come back on here, but the time we had transitioned to this house, here's pepper, it looks like. Sorry, I just got thrown off. But the time we transitioned, I had a winter garden out here. And I think there's a little bit of that in one of my first videos back. I think it's like a mini garden tour or whatever. Well, in that video you can see I had collard greens, brassicas, all types of brassicas. Collard greens, collard greens, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. What else? Just, I don't know, a lot of cold crops, okay? Not cold crops, cola crops. So, yeah. So I was expecting them to eat that. I was actually planning on putting a fence up around my garden because, I just wanted to prevent them from eating it. But I put those out here knowing they were going to get eaten, so I wasn't really worried about them. Wasn't planning on getting the harvest. I was just sitting them out here to test, what was out here, deer and stuff. We've seen deer all the time, so I was like, they definitely gonna eat my stuff. Well, come to find out, I had the biggest broccoli harvest I had ever in my garden out here. Nothing at all was bothered eaten or nothing. No bites, no nibbles. Even look at this. This green bean was even eaten and all that. So I just don't know. They didn't bother the watermelon. They didn't bother nothing else except for tomatoes. This is what I've seen so far. Tomatoes. All my tomatoes. Some of my green beans. But they didn't. So right here. This is the closest place I garden to the dog pen right there. And so I guess they didn't come near here because actually there was a few ripe tomatoes up here, and see there's still green ones up here, so they didn't even come up here up here to this plant. So I'm guessing the dogs, they were scared of dogs, so they just stayed, like, they didn't come like past that cage or whatever, or I don't know, because they came to that, so they probably just didn't come past that because there's tomatoes on there and all those green beans I just planted. But some of them are dying because storm damage. There's a video on that. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Never had that. So then come here, still haven't had this whole summer, spring season. Haven't had no deer damage, no nothing. So I'm just trying to figure out. That night it had stormed, or that daytime it was storming the full day. So I don't know if that had something to do with it or not. But all I can say, y'all, is just be aware. I don't know if I'm gonna put a fence up still. I think that was just a freak incident. It wasn't like a, incident I need to be worried about. I feel like that's what I feel like. But let me know in the comments what I should do, y'all. Let me know tips to keep deer out my garden other than a fence, because fence is expensive and I don't want to do that. So anyway, y'all, this is it for Tragic Day Tuesday. Let me just announce this. There will be no more Tomato Day Tuesdays. I know it was only for a short period of time, I think for a month or month and a half. I'm very sorry for this. It's not my fault. So y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.